This is Investment Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Daily live streaming interactive. Featuring Mrs. Backup. Subscribe, hit the notification, smash the likes. Now, here's Backup Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to Investment Perspectives, everybody. We're having fun here during this tail end of this pandemic. Hopefully it's the end of it. I don't know. They're talking about some places the numbers going up. Well, at any rate, I hope everybody's staying safe. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Vanguard, BNY Mellon, State Street, and Franklin Templeton. And guess what else? Stellar. Yeah, Stellar. That's right. Yeah, the cousin, the brother or sister to XRP. We're going to talk about that too. All right, let's go ahead and get into this because there's a couple articles in a row here. And shout out to Ledger Insights because these are really great articles. Let's get started here. All right, today's giant asset manager. And by the way, what is Vanguard? Okay, let's just get that straight. Vanguard, if you don't know, is a huge investment group. How huge? The Vanguard Group is an American registered investment advisor based in Malvern, Pennsylvania, with over $6.2 trillion in assets under management. It is the largest provider of mutual funds and the second largest provider of exchange-traded funds in the world after BlackRock's iShares. Okay, getting back to it. So, that's who Vanguard is. All right, today's giant asset manager Vanguard outlined details of its latest blockchain project. It's exploring blockchain for foreign exchange forwards for the over-the-counter currency market. It conducted a proof of concept collaborating with BNY Mellon, State Street, and Franklin Templeton. Now, this is interesting too because guess what? Franklin Templeton plans to mutual fund tokenization on Stellar blockchain. Let's keep reading. For more than 2 years, we've been developing blockchain use cases to help transform the capital markets, said Warren Pennington, the principal of head of Vanguard's Investment Management FinTech Strategies Group. The current environment emphasizes the need to streamline, automate, and secure critical business processes when procedures are highly reliant on manual intervention and disconnected operations. It makes the markets vulnerable to disruption from crisis and even simple manual mistakes. Following 2008 crisis, there has been a regulatory push to standardize and get more control with respect to over-the-counter derivatives. Industry body ISDA worked in the industry on common domain model, which apart from data standards specifies processes of workflows for contracts such as foreign exchange forwards. It ensures that all parties that adopt the standard are talking the same language and even when not on the same network. That's important right there. This can help to reduce costs significantly. We've asked Vanguard whether it has adopted the CDM, but didn't have a response by publication. Automation of margin calls is something that the CDM addresses and has been a reoccurring topic of late and one mentioned by Vanguard. It highlighted the ability to value, move, and settle collateral instantaneously using blockchain. A few months back, JP Morgan went live with another distributed ledger technology system to automate collateral transfers for derivatives. Interesting stuff. Our work towards conducting the first FX forward contract on DLT is one of the number of use cases we are looking in our efforts to modernize trade life cycles and improve client experience, said Jason Vitale, head of FX at BNY Mellon. Now, just a sidestep here, BNY Mellon is hugely behind Ripple as investors. You can bet on it. Okay, now the other thing I find interesting here is, and maybe I missed this or maybe I've forgotten it, there's so much going on in this space, I did not know in my best Ed McMahon. A few months back, JP Morgan went live with another distributed ledger technology system. Did you? If you did, leave a comment below. I find that to be interesting. All right, our firm's digital strategies overall are essentially focused on reducing our customers' operational challenges through both processes automation and by utilizing state-of-the-art technologies that drives efficiency and growth. And we believe this pilot will help us further achieve that goal, said Dean Sicati, head of product innovation at business development for State Street Global Markets. State Street has also applied for, I think it was I want to say it was a license to custody digital assets. So just as a little side note there too. Automation sounds like a primary motive here, particularly as it relates to forwards. However, Vanguard's head of FX trading, Andy Mack, previously spoke to the trade where he stated that DLT could be a tool to disintermediate banks and Forex trading and enable peer-to-peer matching. Pretty remarkable, the level of conversation that we just talked about in this article and the level of company that are exploring this technology. Okay, here's another piece that I thought was pretty compelling too. U.S. Homeland Security issues call for blockchain solutions for supply chain identity. Well, I tell you what, when we talk about who's carrying the narrative and making sure that we don't hype ourselves up a tree, this is the kind of stuff we want to see. Oh, well, you know, the first knee-jerk reaction, well, they said supply chain and blockchain, but they didn't say crypto. Okay, my thought is that it would be awful robotic to think that they wouldn't incorporate that next step of using a token on the blockchain to track these the supply chains. So, okay, so let's get into this. This is pretty remarkable. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has solicited startups to propose blockchain solutions to 5 separate issues. The program, which is headed by the Science and Technology Directorate branch of the department, is similar to a previous topic call from 2018 that also had strong blockchain focus. 3 of the 5 objectives of the project focus on supply chains, specifically those of food, natural gas, and direct-to-customer e-commerce shipments are being run by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Now, I just want to stop right there for a second and remind everybody of the World Economic Forum PDFs that we have covered heavily here on this channel about blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology being adopted for the supply chains of the world. This falls heavily in line with that narrative. The other 2 are searching for a more secure alternative identifier to Social Security number and effective solutions to problems that the pandemic has afflicted on Homeland Security. The Food Project seeks to improve the safety and visibility of supply chains. It aims to automate the often arduous process of validating country of origin data, as well as helping to streamline and simplify the processes as a U.S. Customs and Border Protection project. One of the purposes is to apply appropriate duties. Additionally, it is hoped that this will reduce spoilage and waste and expedite inspection times, making the whole process simpler and more streamlined. Largely, as a result of the U.S.-Mexican agreement, the Natural Gas Project aims to facilitate communication between governments and institutions, increase transparency, and in particular targets creating connections between supply chains, document and export declarations, as well as simplifying in-bond processing. Previously, Customs and Border Protection ran a similar project for oil. Did you just hear what I just read? Is this on? They literally are acknowledging that they have put blockchain in the supply chain process for natural gas between U.S., Mexico, and Canada agreements, and are testing, at the very least, to see how it works for them for the supply chains of natural gas and oil. I'm going to keep reading. Fears surrounding a rise in illicit and dangerous products entering the U.S. Post has inspired the e-commerce supply chain strand of the scheme. Homeland Security seeks a platform that would allow it to connect all parties across the supply chain, thus increasing transparency. Though this, it hopes, identify illicit goods with greater ease, ensure that all sellers comply with regulation, and simplify the process which goods enter the U.S. And believe me, as someone who has been a global importer, getting things in the country and through customs is an enormous process. Very, very difficult process to make sure that you do it correctly, and they fine you heavily if you do not get it correct. Okay, let's go down to the next thing here, which is KPMG launches digital asset tools for institutions. Now, this here is more about creating more market options for the fragmentation of getting from the traditional world to how it's working to the new digital distributed ledger technology world, the blockchain world that we're moving to. Yesterday, KPMG unveiled Chain Fusion, a solution to enable financial service companies and fintechs to aggregate blockchain-based and traditional data for digital assets to run analytics. The solution is intended to deal with the whole array of assets from Bitcoin and stablecoins to central bank digital currencies. The visual above gives a good idea of the gulf in architecture between traditional and digital asset systems, hence and amalgamating the data from both types of platforms in a non-trivial matter. The solution uses structured data model for digital assets or crypto assets that analytics can be run for typical purposes such as business analysis, risk assessment, and compliance, including anti-money laundering. Regulators and auditors expect fully implemented controls and processes within and across the crypto asset business, whether they are crypto assets or traditional systems or anything in between, just like we talked about. The director of KPMG, Crypto Asset Services team, said, if you are a blockchain or digital asset-based business, you will have separate systems for everything. Listen to this. The solution also helps with verifying custody of crypto assets with the cryptographic proofs, as well as multi-party computational crypto asset wallets. Additionally, it provides transaction monitoring for anti-money laundering. Now, I just wanted to bring this up because tomorrow is the deadline for the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, which is a regulatory body, just like the FSB, the Financial Stability Board, which are two regulatory bodies connected directly to the G20. And they have a deadline, first-year deadline, for all exchanges and all virtual asset service providers to be in compliance with KYC, AML, and the travel rule. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap it right there. This is really great stuff. Again, understanding that in this article, they are testing blockchain and supply chains for natural gas and oil between U.S., Mexico, and America and Canada. And then the Homeland, which is Homeland Security, calling for that. And the other thing here is seeing Vanguard unveiling the blockchain project with BNY Mellon, State Street, and Franklin Templeton. Franklin Templeton intends to have a tokenized mutual fund on the Stellar blockchain, and Vanguard manages $6.2 trillion in assets. And don't forget, BNY Mellon is an original investor in Ripple XRP. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe. We will catch you on the next one.